What's up, everybody? I'm Greg, and this is Steve. Steve, you made Gone Home.
Yeah.
It's the indie darling right now. It's the hit. Everybody loves it. It's the hotness.
That's what I like to hear.
They call it the new Minecraft.
Don't think that's true.
No, nobody's calling it new Minecraft yet, man.
That's the first time I've heard it.
Well, I've started it, so there you go. Everybody go buy Gone Home. Go play Gone Home. It comes with Greg Miller's highest recommendation. That's a chicken wing endorsement. But we're not here to spoil that game. We have a whole bunch of content like that up on IGN already. We got the Up at Noons going. You got a spoiler cast coming this week. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Commentary walkthrough with us. What I want to talk to you about is being a developer.
All right.
First off, how hard is it? You live in a house with your people. You
Yeah.
have this company called the Fulbright Company.
Yeah.
All four of you live in one house and work in the same house.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing where, so we had all worked on big games before, and we left AAA, and we have, luckily we have savings, to be able to fund this project, but not if it costs a lot to live every month.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all reconvened up in Portland, Oregon. And, we rented a house in the city. And we split the house and our offices in the basement. So that's what let us keep costs low, so that we could make Gone Home kind of on our own terms without having to have a publisher or investors or anything, but have the time to make something that's it's a detailed game. There's a lot in it. So it gave us that freedom to make this thing in a way that we wouldn't have been able to if we all had our own place and we were in the Bay Area and the cost of living's way higher.
So was this one of those terrifying gambling moves of well, we're gonna leave these big companies? I mean, you worked on Bioshock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave these big companies for big AAA games and do this. And well, honey, I hope it works out.
It kind of was.
Yeah.
We had. My wife and I had made the decision to move back to Portland because she's from there and I had lived there for a long time. And we knew, if we're going to go back there, we're just going to have to figure out a way to make it work, because there's not a big games industry in Portland the way there is here or in Seattle or in LA. And so, I was just really fortunate to know Jonaman and Carla, who were the other co-founders of the company who I had worked with at 2K Marin.
Yeah.
And for them to be I believe in this idea enough to quit my job and move to another state to make the game.
That's a lot of faith.
It's a lot to ask, And then we started working with Kate Craig, who's our 3D artist, shortly after we started the project, and we were, working, contracting her, doing piecemeal for a while, and then we were if you wanted to work full time on this game, we would love to have you work on it.
Yeah.
And so she left her job as well because
Wow.
she was doing mobile game development up in
That's
Vancouver,
the future.
BC.
I keep hearing. That's the future. The mobile games.
And so we've got three of the developers, and then my wife Rachel. We all live in the house, and then Kate is working out of her home up in Vancouver. It's a very small, lean organization.
Yeah.
Our only real costs are just rent and food, and obviously we had to pay our voice actor, and we licensed music and stuff. But it was mostly just we have to make something that we can make without having a paycheck for long enough to get it done and get it out there. And so a lot of the things that the decisions we made about how we were going to build the studio and how we were going to work together was based on just here are our hard constraints. If we work for longer than this, we're going to not be able to pay our rent. So we got to figure out how to make a game with what we have in that time.
Gotcha. So here's the big question.
All right.
Is 2013 the best time to be a video game developer? Could you have done this at any other time in our history since the Pilgrims came here?
I mean, I feel if 2013 isn't the best time, then 2014 or 15 will be. I feel we're in a place right now. It's really awesome that there are so many ways to make a game on your own terms and get it out to people without the barriers to entry of you have to have your game in a box on a store shelf, or
get
you
the
have
cartridge
to
made and get it to Toys R Us.
Exactly. It's you don't have to have a publisher. You don't have to have the overhead of X, Y, and Z. You can just be okay, we know how to make a game. We build it. We work to get it on a platform like Steam, or just sell it through your own site through the Humble store.
Yeah.
And with stuff like Twitter, you can reach so many people that'll be interested in what you're making that you wouldn't have had the ability to 5-10 years ago. It's if you wanted to get the word out about your game and it's not super mainstream, 10 years ago, it's okay, well, buy some magazine ads, buy some banner ads or whatever,
Yeah.
But now there's just this, there are all these different ways where it's you've got your one friend who's super keyed into this stuff, and they find out about a game and they tell you about it, and now you can just one click and you have it and you're playing it, and that is super important for indie developers to be able to actually sustain themselves and make sure that you can actually reach as many people as possible. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it is a really inspiring time to be a game developer because so many different people are just doing so much different stuff.
Right.
You know, like I was talking with you guys, you know, about how one of you mentioned like within the same week, Gone Home and like Saints Row 4 came out, and you guys were playing both of those games, and like they're so different, but they're both like these valid experiences, and I'm just really excited about how many different things games can be now, and how those people that are making those different things can actually make a living off of it and keep making more of it.
I mean, as the consumer, as the gamer, right, what's exciting for me is that there's a game for every mood, right? And we always talk about, you know, I always talk about how it's going to be better when all the people who are in Congress right now and the old people, they die. That way that when the generation...
You always talk about that?
This is an ongoing thing with me, is that they still think of video games as Mario, and so when they hear that in the new GTA you can kill hookers, they're like, Mario is killing hookers and a 4-year-old is playing that? They don't get how it works, whereas now it's almost like, you know, for lack of a better term, right, it's like cable television or whatever. There's all these different networks, all these different games out on Steam, out on PlayStation Network, where you can sit down and be like, what do I want today? And you can find that for the mood.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to, like, since we were making this thing, I haven't had the chance to play that game like Brothers, which seems really interesting, you know, but also I'm really looking forward to GTA 5, because that looks like they're doing fascinating stuff with, like, switching between the characters and everything. Yeah. So, like, there's just this whole spectrum of experiences, like you were saying, where you don't have to, if you want to play a video game, you don't just have to be psyched up for a big AAA game or for like a tiny indie game. It's just like you can have that whole range just in a single day of playing games, which is really exciting.
Great. Well, Steve, thanks so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Gone Home is out right now. Go get it on Steam. Maybe one day it'll be on some kind of PlayStation platform. Watch up at noon for more details on that. Until then, I'm going to rep the Christmas duck till I die.
Thanks very much.
No problem.